Okay. All right. Well, here we are back in Middle Earth. In LotRO, this is Fandramir. See? Fandramir. Um, First thing I'm going to do is go through my mail real quick. Here's the Bingo Boffins start. If you know what I'm talking about, it's a hobbit that kind of mimics a little bit of, kind of plays along the lines of the hobbits from the Fellowship of the Ring, and then the hobbits from The Hobbit. Um, you go around helping him, getting his courage up, and helping him move out and do things throughout Middle Earth. Uh, stuff for horses. My money from my other character. All right, so one thing I realized, I'm gonna just accept this real quick. All right, close all this stuff out, and then it's Bilbo Baggins' birthday. Right, so with Frodo and Bilbo Baggins' birthdays close at hand, that's right, because their birthdays are on the same day. Frodo is looking for an adventurer to assist him with a surprise for his uncle Bilbo. Travel to Rivendell to assist Frodo with his plans. Well, I'm really low level to be traveling all the way to Rivendell. We got some Hobbit presents. I don't have enough time. I've got another 2 days before the next free um, gold present, but I do have the ability to grab a silver present, so let's see what I get. Oh, nice! Universal optional crafting ingredient. That's cool. That'll help out a lot, especially from what I am going to be doing next. So I looked at my character here, and looking at it, I'm level 7, which is when typically a lot of your beginner level of crafting materials or crafting items are able to be made. Uh, I'm kind of a little bit of a crazy person, so and other people who know me know that um, I like to take I like to take the like information and make spreadsheets or lists and stuff like that out of them. So I did make one for crafting. So let me just bring it over onto the screen here if I can before without it flipping out. All right, so here you'll see uh, like level 1 stuff um, all the way to I have it built so it can go all the way to 100 level 150. But I only have the stuff made for 100, and then I have it color coded so each of my characters here and what it is that they make. I probably should change the yellow, it's kind of hard to see. Uh, and that's not Fandramir anymore, that's the old Fandramir. Alright, but I did go ahead and do that, so it looks like there's a couple of things I can make for this character. So I'm going to do a quick what we call alting, where I'm going to jump from alt to alt to alt, making the different things for Fandramir here. I'm going to start off with the old Fandramir character that I had that I renamed so I can start over again for this stream. And I'm gonna send him some money. So Fandolmir is the old Fandromir. So I'm just gonna send him some money, and I'll probably 10 gold is more than enough. More than enough. All right, so there's that, and then I just log out. Excuse me. All right, log out. Thanks, brother. Thank you very much. So, yeah, I don't know. Do I sound robotic to you, or do I sound normal? Oh, hey Monk. Nice to see you here as well. Phase 1 VL, but way more enjoyable. Yeah, sounds the same. Okay. Yeah. Um, so, like I was saying, I'm going to go on to Fandlemir here, log into this character, sit through this little bit of a loading screen. Um, so, yeah, I'm good. Fandlemir is my, again, if we look at this list, because especially Delta the Viking in chat there knows I like to make lists upon lists upon lists of things. So here we see this list, and for level 7, Fandlemir, because it's also color coded, I need to change that. Fandlemir. Uh, how comparable is it to Elder Scrolls Online? I played Elder Scrolls Online when it first came out. Bet you if I logged in now, um, I would be like a beta person. Oh, thanks, Rissus, rating me with a party of 6. I appreciate that. Um, yeah, me and my list and my spreadsheets, right? Exactly. But as far as how what it's like for compared to Elder Scrolls Online, this is older than Elder Scrolls Online is. So the graphics and stuff like that is going to be a little bit different. Um, for Gondor, right? Uh, so the graphics is going to be a little bit different. But like I said, I played that for a little bit, and I found myself coming back to this. Uh, Mostly though because when I played Elder Scrolls Online, it was brand new. It wasn't as good. Um, yeah, welcome Raiders, indeed. Thank you very much. But yeah, so it wasn't as good as it is now, as I hear. Um, so I prefer this, but I guess it really just depends on which world you like being in the lore of. Yes, well, they make a mod where you can make Skyrim multiplayer. There is a mod to do that, which is pretty interesting. Talking about Skyrim, I mod the heck out of my Skyrim. I have the mod organizer, and yeah. Oh, did it? Okay. I was more interested to see what would happen when you bring in um, because I saw that there was a group of mods or a single mod where it had AI learn the character that they were pretending to be, excuse me, and then you would talk to the character, and it would respond back to you in like in that character's mindset, right, in their personality. But there was like 3 different programs, so it would take your voice, right, and it would take it from your voice to like speech to text, so that the AI could read it, and then the AI would read it, process how the character would respond to that, respond to you in that character's voice using a different program, a third program that would synthesize the voice model that was used for that character, so it even sounded like that character when it talked back to you. That's a Skyrim mod. That was pretty interesting. There's not a whole lot of talking in this game. Monk did a lot of modding, but I only did mostly cosmetic mods. Like cities. Yeah, so my if she's at all interested, or if you're interested, there is a specific mod called the Dragonborn Museum, where it's like literally, if it's an object in the game, there is, for a majority of them, there is a way to display it in that museum. And then I think a Skyrim modder named Dark Lady Lexi, I believe it's her name. She created a giant modding list, and it's like a whole community for the Lexi's Dragonborn Museum or something like that. I don't know. I can look it up. Um, but it's a whole list of mods that, and it's like a it for me it takes me about a week to go through the modding process to get that list of mods working properly. But the mod list itself is like a step-by-step instruction manual on how to do it so you don't mess it up. Um, so that's so it greatly expands Skyrim, ups the graphics, all sorts of things, adds a ton of realism, all of those realism mods and immersion mods and all that kind of stuff. Really, really beefs out the game, makes it really nice. Um, so when I play Skyrim, I typically end up playing that mod list. Dark Lady Lexi, one word. If she or you or anybody who's listening is at all interested, um, the Dragonborn Museum mod list, it's intense. It is very intense, but if you follow it as laid out in the modding list step by step, you will have absolutely no problems. But you'll end up with like something like 2,000 mods plugged into your Skyrim at one time. I have an older computer I built back in somewhere around 2018, and it can handle it. So if you have a more modern computer, it should be more than good. Yeah, right. Well, that's because, even vanilla Skyrim, even without the DLCs, there is so much to do that, like, you could be playing for, you said 1,000+ hours, you could be playing for that long and more and still not have done everything in the game. But the Dark Lady Lexi stuff also brings into a DLC-sized mod called Falskar, where it's like the whole separate island the modding community created. Another modding area called Worm's Tooth. It was amazing. Yeah, that always ends up the case. There's a group of people on YouTube called VLDL, Viva La Dirt League, I believe they're called, is their full actual name. And they have a bunch of skits where it's talking about D&D skits or MMORPG skits. It's all live action. They actually act it out, but it's supposed to seem like it's in PUBG or something to that effect. And there's this one skit that they did where it was like, three friends pop into the game for a brand new clean run, and they're all like, yeah, we're all gonna do our own different things. I'm gonna be a DPS champion. I'm gonna be a tank. I'm gonna be a healer. And then like a couple 100 hours into the game, they all meet back up, and they're all stealth archers. So I totally understand what it is that you're saying there. Yeah, so going to what I was doing here though, so what I'm going to do is, this is really nice. I've been playing this game since it came out in, I think it was 2007. This game came out. Hold on, I can tell you right here in a second. My portraits. Okay, 18 years ago this game came out. Have a good one, bud. Thank you for stopping in. Thank you, your wife, for stopping in as well. But yeah, so when this game came out in 2007, there was a whole lot of stuff that's in this game now that wasn't in there, like cosmetic wardrobes, all sorts of stuff, like all of this ability to have stored up cosmetics, a shared storage that you can access pretty much from anywhere, and then a personal storage that only this character. So this shared storage can be accessed by all of your alts, whereas this storage here on the left is only for the character that you're currently on, right? Yeah, so I'm gonna craft some level 7 stuff for Fanjamir before I go delving into the prologue for book 1. So let's go into the crafting screen here. Metalsmith. Right, and it says I can make some crafting tools at level 1, right? So these guys, Alright, so there's extra things that I need that you can't just craft, so I'm going to call in my supplier.
I haven't slept in days.
That's really loud in my ears. Hold on, let me adjust that. Alright. Oh, and I didn't take my money out of the mail. Alright. So now it says I need a spool of bronze wire and a short Rowan shaft. Alright, spool of bronze wire and a short Rowan shaft. It's alphabetical. So SSS, spool of bronze wire. There we go. And you don't want just one, because I'm gonna try to crit it, but it might not happen on the first one, so you buy a bunch. So I've got 5 of them now, and a short Rowan shaft. Right there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright. Then I increase my critical chance. Now I have a 70% chance of getting a critical success, which then means I'll have the better version of the tools, because the tools allow, speeded up crafting and higher crit chance crafting. Right? But he is not going to be apprentice armor, so I don't know why I just put all that stuff. He is going to be a woodsman. No, explorer. Oh, okay, so it works anyway. So, here we go. Let's give it a go one time. Here's to luck. And boom, got it. Nice, 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 nice. Now I could go back through all these bags and try to find out where that stuff went. I've got all sorts of crafting bags here. Each one has the ability to hold up to 50 items. But that's probably not good entertainment, right? Just sitting here watching me go through bags. So instead, I'm just going to move forward to crafting some heavy armor. So what's neat about this heavy armor set here is that there's 3 different versions that you can make. But the different versions, the only difference between them is all cosmetic. So for example, this is what the bronze armor would look like for, man, and then dwarf, and then elven, right? So, but Fandromir is a Gondorian, so I'm gonna try to just make one of these. And no. Alright. You know what? He's crafting a little slow for me, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop outside. And I am going to mount up and ride off, because there is a VIP person over at the entrance to the Elven homestead here in Eredluin. And let's see if I can jump it. Oh, just made it. Alright, Eredluin, there's a VIP. This person here right across the bridge. Right?
Hello,
and then
friend.
this is what I was looking for, the subscriber
something?
jug. So the subscriber jug accelerates crafting time, prevents item wear from combat, crafting, and defeat. Right? Oh, and I gotta finish the
Greetings,
quest.
friend.
Alright. Alright, so this is 13 days long. I've got this one. I don't know how I ended up getting one that's 20. This one's 29 months long. I don't know how that happened. We'll try to keep it a secret if it's a mistake, but I'm going to get rid of the shorter one. Put on that subscriber jug. And then ride back to my crafting area in my house so that I can craft more stuff. But yeah, I like the addition of the VIP persons, the VIP stuff. Right, gives you a little bit extra if you were willing to subscribe. I don't remember how long ago, maybe 7 or 8 years ago, as a birthday or Christmas present, I forget which, my mom bought me a lifetime subscription back when this was still, Turbine still ran Lord of the Rings Online at that point, and they were offering lifetime subscriptions. So you just pay one flat fee. I think it was like $200 and something at the time, and you had a permanent lifetime subscription. And then even when they went to the free-to-play model, you were grandfathered in with a lifetime subscription. So I have that, and I definitely thank her often because I use it a lot. I play this game so much. See how much faster crafting is now that I use that subscriber jug? Alright, good. That's what I was looking for there. So let's go for the boots. Keep going. This is what I was talking about. Sometimes it doesn't work on the first one. Even if you're at 70%. 70% chance of getting a critical. And you saw it took 3 for that. It took 3 for the regular armor. Alright, so now let's go for the gloves. Let's see if this takes 3 as well. Yep, there's 1, 2, 3. Right? So I don't think that maths out to 70%, but I could be wrong. I'm not a math genius. Alright, helmet. And that one went on the first one. Alright, leggings. There we go. Got some leggings. And then shoulder guards. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Nice. Alright. All you other users in here, hey, thank you for coming in. If you got any questions, any curiosities about this game or anything like that, let me know. Fandramir is a champion, not unlike Fandolmir, so I don't need to make him any shields or anything. Looking at my list here that I have, let's see, level 7. That's pretty much it for Fandolmir here to make him. So now I'm going to sell off all the excess stuff that I made. I could post it on the auction house, but what ends up happening on the auction house, because the auction house, by the way, is like an in-game store where I can craft stuff, put it in the store, or if I find stuff out in the environment, you know, I could put it up for sale in the store as long as it's in the auction house, as long as it's not bound to me, and I can make money out of that, right? However, low-level stuff like this probably not going to sell very well, and I just end up spending more time relisting it until somebody finally bought it than it would probably be worth. All right, so now I'm gonna, but see, that's another thing. Like, I can get to the auction house from this subscriber town services, right? And you see there's all sorts of different things I can get. I can buy weapons. A lot of these are either made. Let me see if I can. Like this one was found, right? This one was found. So a lot of these are going to be found. This one was crafted. This was made by another character, right? And you can see that, like, I can buy it now if I wanted to, buy out, and I'd pay 300 silver for it. Or I can bid, and the bidding price right now is at 10 silver, 42 coppers. And then you see there's also a gold level. But then you see stuff like this. Like, I have never been at the point in my gaming this, and like I said, I've been playing since the month this game released back in, I think it was 2007. I've been playing since the month it released. It was in April, I know that. I'm not a founder. I wasn't in a beta or anything like that for this game, but the month it released, I've been playing. I've never had 400 gold that I would, especially not at a point where I'd feel comfortable just spending it. And yeah, so also another thing I like about this game is that there's no real way that you could buy gold in the game. Now, you might be able to I don't know, go onto the LotRO store right here, which I'm not going to do because my if I click on that, my account name will pop up, and I don't want that to be published out online. But you know, you might be able to go on there and get something that you can sell to you know, vendors, like NPC vendors in the game. But you're not going to make a whole lot of money off of doing that, and you'd probably spend more real world money than it's actually worth, right? So this 400 gold is somebody grinding to 400 gold so that, you know, they could buy this axe, this great axe, right? It's probably cool looking. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, it's a cool looking great axe, right? And it's a legendary. Yes, it's a legendary weapon. So that's pretty cool, but I don't know about 400 gold. You know, maybe if I'm at a level where I could use this. What's the level? Minimum level is 95 in order to be able to wield this weapon. And as you see, Fandlemir here is only level 60. So maybe if I'm at 95, 400 gold is nothing. But I've been at that level before on other servers, and that's just crazy. By the way, I'm playing on the Peregrine server, which is what's called a legendary server. So it kind of, the progression is a lot slower on this server. This was my main character, Fandlemir here, right? He was my main character. Hey, how you doing? Nice to see you. Let me see if I'm saying this right. So you would be what is called a Quebecois, right? Something like that. A French-speaking person from Quebec in Canada, right? If that's derogatory in any way, shape, or form, I apologize. But that's what I've heard, and I know it's French. Salut, yeah, yeah. I don't know a whole lot of French. I know how to say je m'appelle Fandromir. Je suis Americain. That's pretty much it. And the only reason why I know that is because there's an old World War II movie called The Longest Day, in which a bunch of paratroopers, as they were getting ready to jump into Normandy, he keeps repeating those phrases over and over and over again, because he's about to jump into France in World War II, you know, and so he wants to be able to tell French people, hey, I'm an American and my name is whatever. Yeah, so anyway, this was my main character, again, on the Peregrine server. I pretty much am only on Peregrine now. I was on Treebeard before this. Landreval, I was on the Landreval server for a while. A couple other servers. I started off on the server Meneldor, which is now a closed server. It's not around anymore. All right, hey, we're almost halfway to the goal. That's nice. 5 out of 10 followers. Hey, if you like what you see, you know, by all means, go ahead and give a follow. I believe I'm still new to all this streaming stuff. This is only my 3rd official stream, right? So I'm still even trying to figure out how to play with the sounds and get them right. But you know, I believe you know, if you follow me, that will then send you a notification that lets you know when I come on. But just for your information, my goal, my intent, is to be on at 8 o'clock pretty much every day. Mostly because, you know, that's when I wind down after work, and I'm probably going to be gaming anyway, so why not be online where I can talk to, you know, other people and stuff outside of the game, and then I'm not stuck playing a specific game. If I want to talk to specific people, you know, I can play multiple different types of games. So, like, I play Lord of the Rings online, obviously. I also play games like Fortnite. Delta the Viking and I were talking earlier about Skyrim. I play a lot of Skyrim. Fallout 4. I've always wanted to try Fallout 76, especially now that I hear it's better, because when it was released there was a lot of bugs. It was kind of messy, I hear. So I'm curious about trying out Fallout 76 and a bunch of other games. I like the Total War series. I play a lot of, especially Warhammer Total War. I'm a huge Warhammer person. I'm thinking that someday I'm going to eventually. This is Peregrine. I'm on Peregrine right now. It's a legendary server. North American, yep. Yep, North American legendary server. Unfortunately, in order to be on this server, you have to be VIP. So if you're a free-to-play player, you're not going to be able to get onto the server. I just like it because it's a slower progression. It keeps people at the lower levels longer, because I'm naturally a slower player anyway. And so I end up, on the other older servers, I end up being like the only person walking around Bree trying to find a pickup group or a fellowship to do some quests that doesn't exist because everybody's in the high 100 level. But anyway, so, you know, if there's anybody who's like, hey, you'd like to see me try to play this other game or whatever, you know, hey, just let me know, drop me a line, and I'll definitely give it a look. If I already have it, I'll stream it out. So anyway, sorry, go back to what I was doing. I was going to, I have ADHD. All right, full disclosure up front, ADHD. I get distracted very, very easily. So, but what I'm going to be doing right now is, first I'm going to take this off and out of there, save up some space, and then I'm going to place my carry-alls. These are all large crafting carry-alls, and all of them are pretty much full up. So I'm going to place all these carry-alls in there. The most popular North American server? For some reason, hold on, I'm going to have to pop it, the client open again. Whoop. Alright, didn't like that. That wasn't good. Here we go. Let me try this. I'm just going to look through the servers real quick. Alright. Because if I see it, I'd probably recognize it. I know Glamdring was popular at one point. That's all I'm seeing. I guess they did a... Oh, I played on Angmar for a little while. I guess Glamdring would be the most popular North American server. There used to be a lot more. I guess they did a lot of server closes. Which is a good thing, is a bad thing. You know, it's all eye of the beholder, I guess, stuff, I guess. Personally, I don't mind because it brings more people together on a single server. But, yeah. Alright, back to what I was doing, sorry. Let me see. Compose this. I'm going to send this. The next person on my list of things to do would be Fandalriel. Alright, I'm going to send her the money that's on this character. I got really good at adding and subtracting 50 to things because I keep sending mail to myself over and over again in different characters, and it costs 50 copper to send mail. So I got really good at doing that math so that I have 0 on a character that I'm not currently playing. Because I think it's very inefficient to have money spread out amongst all your alts. And I think yesterday I determined I have something like 23, 24 alts on this server. Well, counting the main, so I guess they're not all technically alts, but you get what I'm saying. Right, so actually, let's look. I've got 5 pages of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on a page. So 4 times 6 is what, 24? And then page 5 has 25, 26, 27, 28, 20, 29 characters on this server. And that's not counting monster play. If we pop into monster play, I've got 3 on monster play, but I don't really do monster play a whole lot. But anyway, Fendel Riel, she's a 150 elf champion of mine. So it was Fandlemir was my main for a long time, but there's a setting where it makes the game even tougher. It's a difficulty setting. It's new to like these legendary servers. So I put Fandlemir on like the most difficult setting, and I can't just take him off of it because I don't like doing that kind of, like, I don't like reversing decisions like that. So, it's Baggins' birthday stuff. So, instead of reversing that, I just created an alt named Fendalriel here. Right. And this is my kinship, the casual completionists. It's literally just my alts and me. What am I making? Alright, so first I need to get the subscriber jug. So actually let me pop out. I've been hearing a lot of talk. I don't know if they are actually going to follow through with it or not, but I've been hearing a lot of talk about them going back through and revamping all of the graphics and all that stuff. I know they went to they finally upgraded this to what, 32 bits within the past year or so, the whole game, which, like, it was built on an 18 megabyte, that's what it is, 18 megabyte RAM or processor. So I don't know, I'm using computer terms I don't totally know, so if I get it wrong, don't crucify me. But yeah, so they finally just updated it to 32 megabyte servers. Like I said, I think within the last year. But I've also heard talk that they were going to look about going back through and updating graphics and stuff like that, which is one of the reasons why I hear that they went to the new server level in the first place. Alright, so Fandalriel here is my woodworker alt. So she is where I put all of my woodworking recipes that I find out and about. And if I need something made that's made of wood, she does it. I didn't want to open the auction house. I wanted to share storage. Alright, bam. Take all this stuff. Alright, take that. Alright. You see I got 340 and it's already almost maxed out. I like to split it up. I'm very meticulous in things. So I have a bag that I just put recipes in for other alts to pick up. This is a bag for all my carry-alls. These bags that when you open them up, they have all your crafting ingredients in them. Right, like look at this. I've got over 3,000 polished adamants. Right, that's a lot. Because that only stacks, like if those adamants were in my inventory, they would only stack up to 500 in one of these squares. And I've got over 3,000. Right, so that would be like, what, 6 boxes? 7 because it's not an even 3,000. But anyway, things for characters to pick up, which, now I'm looking at it, I don't think I put the stuff on there from Fendalriel. Miscellaneous items that I can use, like crafting boosters and all sorts of stuff. Leveled items that I've created for the different characters. Right, like food and pots. Right, potions, pots. All sorts of food. Housing items, legendary item stuff, reputation, cosmetic stuff, holiday items, and then class items. I really like to split it out so that if I need to find something, I know exactly where to go to get it. But anyway, she's going to be making first a Lebethron, which is maybe, where's that level? Fishing rods. Here we go. Right, Lebethron fishing rod. Fingers crossed. Nope. Do it again. There we go. Nice. Alright, so we got that. And then going back, does she make anything else that Fandromir will need? He's gonna need a bow eventually, so I might as well just make it now. So ranged weapons, level 7, a Rowan bow. That's, whoop, I need to call out the supplier here.
I haven't slept in days.
And we should maybe should try to go take a nap somewhere. What are you doing when I'm not around? I think you'd at least sleep then, right? Rough leather wrapping is what I'm looking for. Elemental P, Q, R. Rough leather wrapping. There we go. Alright, again, never just buy one, because you never know if you're going to crit or not. Like, see, I didn't. I mean, technically, I could try and then buy, and then try and then buy. But I'm feeling kind of like on a crunch right now, because I don't want to be too boring on stream, you know? Alright, so that's pretty much all that she can make. So then I'm going to move on to my cook. Bro. He's a hobbit. So, let me open my shared storage. Put all these carry-alls back in. And then put this stuff in the pickup file. Right, send a letter to Bro with my money. 99194. Alright, and then I'm gonna log out. So, does anybody else in chat here play? Play Lord of the Rings Online, that is? Or what are some of your favorite games to play? Whoop. That's not a good sign. Hold on. I think the game just crashed out on me. Hold on, I'm going to put you on pause. You might want to turn your volume down. I haven't gotten the volume correct on this just yet, but I'm going to go on a quick break, try to figure... Oh, nope, I'm back. Never mind. Never mind. Oh, that made me nervous. Alright. Alright, here's Bro. See, he even looks like a cook. He's wearing a messed up apron. He's got his hobbit feet fully exposed. I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. I started off watching the movies, obviously, as they came out. Each of the three original, The Fellowship of the Ring, The Two Towers, and The Return of the King, they each came out around Christmas, at least in North America, in the United States. So every year, for 3 years, there was another Lord of the Rings movie coming out on Christmas. And so I would go and watch it, and it really got me into Lord of the Rings, and I knew it was based on a book. So I said to myself, well, if the movies are this good, I've got to enjoy the book, right? Theoretically. So I've never been a good reader, though. The attention deficit stuff makes it very difficult for me to sit down and really read anything. So instead, I got them on audiobook. Now, back then, Audible wasn't a thing yet. Kind of showing my age a little bit, I guess, when I say that. Dang it. So instead, I just had to buy stacks of CDs so that I could play the audiobooks on a CD player. So I did that. I read / listened to unabridged versions of The Fellowship of the Ring, then The Two Towers, then Return of the King, and I fell even more in love with Lord of the Rings. And it got to a point where I was like a giant lore nerd for Lord of the Rings. And then when this game came out, I was like a pig in heaven. I know that's not the saying, but I'm trying to keep my language family friendly because my kids will probably eventually watch this. But anyway, so I got real into it at that time, and so when this game came out in April of 2007, I believe it was released, I was like, yes, that's amazing. And I was immediately in the game, and I was amazed at how true to lore this game is and has remained. There's some things where it's kind of like pushing at the edges of lore, and you're kind of like, I don't know. Like the whole Moria stuff was kind of like, according to the lore, dwarves aren't supposed to go back into Moria and retake Moria until after, essentially after the Return of the King book. But you know, you can't have a game like Lord of the Rings Online and not be able to go into Moria. So you gotta have to have a little bit of suspension of disbelief going on, you know? Alright. So now let's open this up. Let's take out my crafting bags. Wow, it's loading slow today. Might be because I've taken up a lot of bandwidth from the stream. I don't even know if I'm gonna need to craft anything, because I pre-crafted a lot of stuff. But let's take a look here. Alright, so the stuff that I would be crafting for him would be campfire, which I have right here. This is a birch campfire, so I'm going to put that in the pickup folder. And then if I scroll down right about here, here's all of my foods at that level, right? Yeah, these are any level food, whereas these are level 10. Alright, so I can take all of this stuff, I'll even start up here, and put them all in the pickup. So that way I don't have to search around, I can just go right to that folder and grab all the stuff on character that I need. Right? If you don't manage these inventories, you will end up losing stuff left and right. So that's why I'm very specific about my inventory here, because I don't like losing stuff, and I don't like repeating things if I don't have to repeat things. Alright, good. Alright, so that's it for that. So actually I don't need to craft anything. I don't want to log out, he's got my bags. So now let's go back to the carry-all, let's put all this stuff back in here. Alright. So this is one of the original, by the way, one of the original player housing homesteads. If I go to the decoration mode, so I put all this stuff up, and then you can, I don't know if you can hear it, you should probably be able to hear it, but that ambient music playing in the background, that's the Tom Bombadil theme that I bought with in-game money here and put in the house, because I just think it's nice and catchy music. Very well themed. Because just that part right there that picked up, I think it's very well done. Alright, so the next character I'm going to go to is Agatoon. He's a jeweler. Manur. 991 and 44. And he is a dwarf, but a stout axe dwarf, I believe they're called. All right. Yep. Gotta wait for the stuff to load in. There we go. Agatoon. Yeah, stout axe. Yep, stout axe. There he is. I think technically he is a she, but lore-wise, there is no visual difference between male and female dwarfs. If you didn't know that, now you know. Dwarves can tell each other apart, but others who are not dwarves cannot tell a male dwarf from a female dwarf. And officially, it's not even because of how they dress. Because when they're female dwarves are so rare in lore that they hardly ever even leave dwarf holds, the dwarf areas, like their kingdoms, underground kingdoms and mines. So if a female dwarf were to leave and walk about, she would visually, both physically and cosmetically, look identical to a male dwarf. The reason why they don't leave very often, apparently, from the lore, is that they're much rarer than a male
Would you
dwarf.
do something for me?
Like
How
how
can I
in
be of service?
humanity, you know, there's basically a 50-50, 50% male, 50% female, basically. In the dwarven areas, I think it's 2/3, 1/3, 2/3 male, 1/3 female. So, and if I'm getting anything wrong, please feel free to correct me in the chat or in comments or wherever. But yeah, so they barely leave, and then when you look at dwarven relationships and marriage and stuff like that, it's very specific. If a female dwarf falls in love with a male dwarf, but he's already married, then that female dwarf will never actually marry, because they never lose their love for the person that they fall in love with. So they'll never marry, they'll never have kids, so that's a problem. But then they never, like, so say she did marry that male dwarf and he dies for some reason, combat, whatever it is, she will never remarry, she will never have more dwarf kids. So that's one of the reasons why the dwarves are a dwindling race in the game. Oh, well, in the lore, not in the game. Well, I guess in both technicalities. But yeah. So I'm just a history kind of guy, whether it's made up history or real history. I tend to really nerd out on it and learn as much as I can. Alright, so now that I got all that, he will need level 7 jewelry. Which, I don't know why they combined these in the same level. And so there's a glittering copper bracelet and a copper bracelet. So this one has fate, vitality, and in combat power regen. Whereas this one has fate, morale, outgoing healing rating. So this one would probably be better for a captain or a minstrel, like healing classes. I think depending on how you spec it out, a Bjorning, or a runekeeper like Agatun here. Right, so I guess a copper bracelet would be more along the lines of what a champion would want. Because vitality is important for a champion. And in combat power regen is important for a champion too. Champions have a problem producing enough power. So if you didn't know about this game, you'll see right here is my health stats, right? So the green bar and then the blue bar. So the green bar is what most people would know as like your health, right? Your overall health. In this game, it's called morale, right? So when you die in this game, you don't actually die. It's called being defeated, and then you retreat to a res circle, right? And then the bottom blue one here, let me move this stuff a little bit out of the way here so it's easier to see, right? This bottom blue one here is your power bar. So all of skills that you would use, right, they all have a power cost. Right, so example, this Writ of Fire skill right here, if you look towards the bottom of that information there, it says costs 1 power. Right, well I have 116 power, so it costs 1 power to do that. That's not bad. Right? Champions though, their skills cost a lot, and they don't have a whole lot of power, and they don't regain power a whole, you know, as fast as you would normally like. So that's why things like in combat power regeneration is good for a champion. But if anybody at any point listening has anything better or different, then, you know, by all means let me know. I'm always up for learning new things. So this has maximum power earring. And again, it's outgoing healing. So I'm going to make 2 of these. Oh, come on. There we go. 1. There's the other one. Alright. Let me put these over here. So that way I don't lose track of them. Necklace. Outgoing healing. Evade. Evade could be good for a champion. It's your ability to not get hit, right? So I'm going to make that one. There we go. And then lastly, we have these copper rings. So this one is plus power. And this one's plus critical rating. See, I got a lot of plus power stuff already in power in combat power regeneration. Crit. Crit is great for a champion, so I'm going to make these. 1. Nope. 2. There we go. If you guys are listening and you like what you hear, or, you know, you're curious about watching me in the future, again, go ahead and click follow. You know, it helps me. It helps you know when I'm on. You know, so, yeah, just give that a go. I did see, by the way, I don't mean to be rude. I did see that I got a follow, so let me go in here. Give me 1 second. Trying to figure out how I know without going into a whole bunch of other screens how many people are following me. Well, I can see how many people are following me. I mean, like, who the new follower is. I think it might be Zuckmaster based off the conversation we had. If it is, thank you very much. If it's not, well, consider it. See if I open this. Oh, that's a pain in the neck. I'm going to close that. Well, if anybody knows how to check in OBS how to see who's following you, let me know. I would almost think it's like a dock screen, right? But I can't see it. It tells me that how many are, but it doesn't tell me who they are. Yeah. So sorry for not giving the specific person a shout out. I apologize for that. Let's go. All right. Are you trying to tell me that I'm I'm going too slow? That's fine. I'm just kidding. All right. All right. Moving on. Sorry. Alright, so I sold that stuff. Aaron Bjorn, Legafen, Pendelmere, Grimili. Alright, so I'm just going to skip ahead to Grimili, who is another dwarf I have. That is a... he's my weaponsmith, because I'm sure we want to get into the game, right? Actually see some gameplay instead of just me crafting, because I know I said that we would do the introduction, so I am going to, you know what? Forget that noise. I'm going to just go right back to Vandermeer and just get right into it, right? I mean, the champion that doesn't have the best kind of sword is not really the best idea. But that should probably have been, note to self, that's pre-stream prep that I should be doing, because this is probably not making for fun viewing, right? So let me just send this mail to Vandermeer. Alright, 9993 54. Alright, let's get on with it. Like in Monty Python. Get on with it. So, do you play Zuck? Zuckmaster? Do you play Lord of the Rings online? Yeah? What server do you play on? If you don't mind my asking. Some people are very particular about information they put out. Champion level 64, nice. So a lot of what I was talking about before is either I'm completely wrong and you were making fun of me in the background, or It's stuff you've heard before. One or the other. Okay. Yeah. Is it because of the French on a Euro server? I mean, that would make the most sense to me. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I figured. That makes sense. Alright, so let's grab this stuff that I just crafted. So a lot of times, here, I'm going to put this back up. Yeah, I'm going to put this up. Oh, you did? You joined the North American server? So I don't know if you think this is interesting or not, Zuck, but I created this Word document here where I have the different crafting characters I have, and then what they can make at what level. So this is like all the stuff that these different alts of mine can make at level 1. And it's all color coded by alt. So at level 5, so if this character gets to like level 8, I can go on here and see, oh, level 8. Well, who can make him stuff? Well, in this case, the next thing after level 7, the next level after level 7 that anybody can craft him stuff is at level 10, right? So I just use that as part of my completionist problem to be able to make sure that I'm running around in tip-top shape with the best stuff that I can get, because in my experience the best equipment in game tends to be crafted stuff, right? Let me put that. Alright. Alright. So I'm just going to grab all this stuff out of my inventory first, and then I'll put it where I like it. Now see, I didn't grab any of my Ethlas. Or Celebrant Selves. Oh well. You live once, right? Let's just hope I don't die before level 20. Because I would hate to have to re-roll this character. Because for those who don't know, there's a certain level, there's a certain amount of titles that you can only get if you reach certain levels without dying, and it stops at level 20. So if I die before level 20, I can't get certain titles, and that will drive me insane. So I'm trying to think, do I want this? Yeah, that's going to make me go up levels faster, so I'm just going to hold on to that now because I didn't craft myself all my stuff. Yeah, this is one of those hardcore servers, so if you look, where is it? Oh, I haven't talked to him yet. Well, thanks for reminding me about that, because I need to talk to him. While I'm running around doing that, I'm going to put on the rest of this stuff here. Oh, there's a dwarf riding around. This guy, difficulty. Right? So there's all these levels of difficulty you can pick. Heroic +2 is... Oh, I love the lore too, man. I love the lore. But Heroic +2 is like the most difficult level.
Stay a moment.
Right? It slows down your progression a lot. And it makes your skills not as effective, and it makes the enemy, like mobs out in the world, out in the landscape, it makes them harder to kill and harder hitting. But I'm not going to do that, because I just want a normal game here with this one. So I'm just going to go difficulty 1. You know, just a normal game level. Right, that's just normal level of difficulty in the game.
How can I be of service?
So, but thanks for reminding me. So now this debuff popped up where it's difficulty 1. Well, this one's 10% gain experience on monster kills. And plus 1 virtue XP. My sound just changed where it's coming out of. So my wife is probably about to yell at me because I might have accidentally woken up the baby. But I'm going to quick change that back. I don't know why it would change in the first place. That's weird. Because it's saying it's coming out of the... But it's not. That's one thing that's weird about this game, is there's all sorts of like weird little quirk things that just happen once in a while. It says it should be still going through my headset, so I'm going to put it through there. You know what? I'm going to accept it, and then I'm going to go back and change it back. Huh. Can you still hear me? That's another question. See if this thing unplugged and stopped working altogether. That's weird. What happens if I turn that off? There's a lot of weird things going on here. Can you guys still hear the in-game sound? The sounds of Breland and stuff. Can you hear anything? Or did my sound completely stop? You can? Okay. All right. Yeah, for some reason, I lost the sound in the game. So I'm going to take a quick pause because I need to take a pause anyway. And I will be back. If you have your sound up, you're going to want to turn your sound down because I haven't quite gotten the audio right on these pause, taking a break screens. And so the music playing in the background might be really loud. So I'll give you a quick second, turn that down, and then I will come back. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. I got the sound to work properly again. Yeah. Alright, so let's get into this, shall we? Alright. So while I'm riding back to the beginning place where I'm going to need to work on this quest, I am going to be... I'm going to describe my bag layout a little bit right here on the right. So right in the bottom here is where I put all my carry-alls. You see there's a lot of them. The bag above that is where I put the things I can use that don't get consumed when I use them, like they don't go away when I use them. Right, these things here. The bag above it is supposed to be for quest items. So let me pull these things out. Alright. The bag above that is just for random things here and there. Yeah, so that's a good point. I never actually thought of that. The first character I made was a weird spelling of Boromir. And then somebody reported it. Turbine, who ran the game at the time, didn't like it when people picked names that were closely aligned to characters from the story, because it's supposed to be your own story, I guess. I don't know. And so they made me change it. So I changed it to Andromir. This is like way back in server Mineldor days. Changed it to Andromir. And then I created an alt named Fandromir. And so I just ended up sticking with Fandromir. I like it better anyway. But yeah, Faramir and Boromir, two brothers. Kind of sounds like a combination of those two names. So going forward, when I tell the story, I'll just use that excuse instead of instead of the slow, weird progression of how I actually got to this name anyway. So yeah, so the quest line right now, what is this? New deed. Oh, okay. The quest line right now, so I'm going to be running through the epic quests, the prologues of the epic quests, is Archit was just attacked in the introduction. You can see Archit there. That's why there's dead sheep all over the place here, and there's half-burned Archit in the background there. We survived the attack. We fought off the Black Wolves, they're called, the ruffian bandits that attacked Archit. And now I was tasked with going around and finding a couple of our friends who didn't make it, finding their bodies essentially, and burying them, giving them that kind of honor, instead of just leaving their bodies out to be picked apart by wild animals and stuff. So that's what I'm doing right now, is I'm going around and finding them so I can bury them. But then there's going to be things like this. They're going to be in the way. Alright. Look, see, there's Will Wheatley. Which is sad because his in the introduction, his brothers and father were killed by the bandits before the attack. And so he said he would die defending Archit, and looks like he did just that. Alright, now I gotta find the last one. There's Bronway's Folly. Yep. And what I think is interesting about that is if I go to the deed here and I hover over this, it gives me a little bit of lore. So, Zuckmaster, you were saying you love the lore. I love the lore too. They did a great job expanding the lore, and it says here, little lore remains from the days of the North Kingdom. But it is said that these ruins are all that remains of a Cardolan lord's failed attempt to hold back the wrath of Angmar. So that delves into lore about when the Númenóreans, after the destruction of Númenor, came to Middle Earth from Númenor, the drowned kingdom now. They created two kingdoms, two, I guess you can call them sister kingdoms. One was Gondor in the south, and the other was Arnor. Yep, there you go, Arnor in the north. Exactly. Well, over time, Arnor in the north ended up being broken up by into multiple kingdoms. Rhudaur, Cardolan, and I forget the name of the third, but I'm sure the game will remind me at some point. But those three kingdoms were is what Arnor broke up into. Númenas is the capital city of Arnor. But yeah, so it broke up into those three kingdoms. Which then made it easier for the Witch King of Angmar to, over time, either corrupt or overthrow each of the kingdoms instead of fighting against one larger, stronger kingdom. And that's part of the lineage that Aragorn, who eventually, spoiler alert, becomes King of Gondor. The leader of the Dunedain Rangers, he hails, his lineage is the kings of Arnor, and then also through marriage, Gondor technically, and that's a whole nother long story, but yeah, so here's Nate Whisperwood. Sorry to see you're passed away, Nate. Let's give you a good burial. Alright, so now we found those three guys, so now we gotta go back and talk to John Brackenbrook. Yeah, I like Red Champion. I get the argument for the Yellow Champion. So you're talking about this stuff here, right? I get the argument for the AOE, especially if you're in group stuff. Yeah, your damage per second is even higher. Yep. Your DPS, but especially in group stuff, AoE is really good because you're going to be doing a lot of DPS, and the more people you can hit, the better, right? Especially if you have a really good tank who's able to keep the threat off of you. But I find personally, I enjoy just regular landscape PvE stuff, solo stuff, inside the red line here. And the blue line, I believe, that's supposed to be more of a tank champion, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, if I'm wrong, you can. Yeah. So AOE is a lot better with the Claymore, you know, or the Greatsword, or whatever you want to call it. I think they just call them Greatswords in this game, but yeah. I personally landscape stuff. I like dual wielding. Regular swords, but when it gets to the legendary weapons kind of stuff, yeah, when it gets to you know, the legendary item stuff, I'll end up picking up more AoE stuff, mixing the levels a little bit. And I'll definitely work on two different legendary lines at a time, both one-handed and two-handed swords. Because if you're of the race of man, and you're not running around with swords, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know why you're doing it that way. Because we get special... Race of Man gets special buffs for swords. That's really loud in my ear. Sorry if it's loud in yours too. I mean, technically, I don't have to kill all these guys. Let me not worry about that now. Worry about that off screen. They won't attack me anyway, except for the ones that pop up. Like that guy that just appeared, the ambusher, he'll attack me, but these guys won't. I don't know why they didn't make it that way, but anyway. So, heading back to John Brackenbrook, right here. I don't think do I have any... I've got Mithril. I could have just fast traveled, but that's not nearly as interesting.
How can I be of service?
So it says, good, it is done. Those men died bravely and deserve the proper burial. Once more, Archit is in your debt. Now before you leave, there is something I must tell you. A queer man came through Archit while you were away, and I believe he was looking for you.
What can I do for you?
The man who came through the village, he reminded me of Strider in his behavior, said he was looking for the hero of Archit. I can only assume that he spoke of you. He said that the matter was most urgent, and that if I saw you, I was to direct you to the Combe and Wattle Inn, where he will be waiting for you. The Combe and Wattle Inn is in the center of Combe, to the south. He seemed most grim to me. I would travel to Combe immediately and speak with the innkeeper, Lisbeth Honeymead. She should know where to find this man. Alright. So now we're going to go to Combe. Do you say how long you were playing for, Zuck? If you don't mind my saying Zook or Zuck. Do you remember how hard it was to get a horse back in the day? It used to be a pain in the neck. And then they didn't really have a whole lot of these nice looking fancy horses. It was all... You've been playing for 6 years? Okay. Yeah, back in the day... Now I'm gonna sound like I'm an old man. I guess I kind of am at this point. Especially in this game. But back in the day, you had to wait till you were like level 40 before you can get a horse. Then, once that was done... you had to go to all these different stable masters and deliver horses to them from Hengstacer's farm up here. You had to ride from here, and the first one was from here to Bree, and then you had to go from here to Mickeldelving, then you had to go from here to, I want to say Kellendim, the elf starting area. Maybe it was Thorin's Hall, or maybe both. But you had to deliver these horses. Then once that was done, which that felt like it took forever, because you couldn't fast travel. And then once that was done, then you had to do the horse race. You had to do the horse race before you could get your first horse. And then, horses at that time cost 4 gold apiece if you wanted one. Which, you know, when the game only went to level 50... getting a gold was a lot of money, so spending 4 gold on a horse was even crazier. Alright, so here we are in the Combe and Wattle Inn. This has got to be some sort of health code violation, having chickens and stuff like that all over the place. I don't know, if you look at this food... Oh, there's no food in there. Right? Just leaving food out and dirty plates all over the place. Who is your health inspector?
Greetings, friend.
Alright, so she says, you have the code? The code for what? Oh, the health code? Huh. Oh my, look here, a real live hero. It's not often we get such respectable folk through here. My, how my tongue runs on. Toradan told me to send you upstairs to his room as soon as you arrived. The stairs are across the room here, and Toradan is the door at the end of the hall. He said you shouldn't delay none. Alright, so let's go up here. Oh, free stuff code. Oh, that's nice. Is that for the store? You plop that into the store and it gives you, pumps out free stuff? Like buffs and stuff? Buffs and stuff. Sounds like a good kinship name, buffs and stuff. Anyway. Expansion level 140. Oh, did you do the Valinor or the Valar thing? The what is it called? Hold on. What is it called? What is it called? What is it called? Oh, the Valar here. Valar level boost. I've got a bunch of them. Are they bound? They're bound to account. See, if you were on this server, Zuck, and it wasn't bound to account, I'd have sent you one of these if you wanted it. I don't really like using the Valar stuff because you miss so much, and you just end up having to go back through it anyway, it feels like. But, Tomes of Extraordinary Experience. Well, in order to keep myself from dying before I get to level 20, I think I'm just going to pop these. Know what?
What do you need?
So, the hero of Archit, I suppose. 1 second. I am pleased to finally meet you. I'm sorry for the cryptic summons, but I dared not betray my whereabouts to just anyone. There is much we need to discuss. Will you hear me?
Would you do something for
Here
me?
we go. There's a level. There's a new level. Level 8. Right? 8? Yep. Level 8. Thank you for your aid, Fandramir. My kindred and I were driven from the bounds of the Shire by the Nazgul of Mordor. They pursued us eastward and slew many of us. It was my goal to join Amdir, but I have heard rumor of his fate in Archit. They say he was stabbed with a Morgul knife and led off by some evil men. The ones who lent the Black Wolves aid. There are few left now with power over such wounds, and those that I know of dwell some distance from here. We must find Amdir, and quickly, if we are to save him. Oh, yeah. The Valar is... yeah, I feel like it's cheating. But the problem is that on some of these servers, if you just join the server, right, and you start off normally, you're so low that it'll be like a ghost town, right? Because everybody's at the higher level stuff, right? So that was one of their many ways to try to speed up your ability to get through it. It says here, he is likely being held by the Blackwolves somewhere in the Chetwood. We must find a way to enter their lair and free him, but first we must find them. Speak with Constable Underhill. He may be of help. You can usually find him outside near the Comb and Wattle Inn. I'm surprised we don't find him in the Comb and Wattle Inn, eating. Once you have learned of the Black Wolves' lair and believe you can gain entry, return to me. Hurry before it's too late. Yeah, that's what I say. Like, I'm a completionist, so for me to pass by all of these deed stuff and all of the other quests and stuff like that, because I'm trying to focus for this stream, I'm trying to focus on the epic stuff and do all of that other stuff off screen or off stream. So it's kind of difficult for me to just pass by all these things But it's probably also good to break me out of my shell of, you know, the OCD shell of gotta do everything. Oh, so here's Constable Underhill. There we go.
Hello there.
Says Tordan sent you, did he? It's good to have the hero of Archit on our side. The Hobbit lowers his voice. There's still a Blackwold agent in town. We think he's trying to rebuild the band from among the local ruffians and bullies. We need proof, though. A letter of parchment would do it, if it came from the agent himself. Many of the brigands hold up in the Chetwood. Follow the road east until you come to the guardhouse, where Constable Wren is stationed. From there, head north and look for the brigands' watchfires scattered throughout the woods, searching their packs for signs of their summons. Let me know right away if you find anything. We need to know what they're up to. Alright. So we're going to head into the Chetwood. So the Chetwood is over here. Right, we're here in Combs. So we're going to follow this trail till it branches out right about here, where Constable Wren is, and then head over into the Chetwood. So let's get that going. Now usually I'd be much higher level by the time I go in to the Chetwood, because if you don't play it just right,
take a moment
you
of
can
your
be
time.
overwhelmed
Can I speak
by
with you a moment?
brigands. And that is not good, so especially if you're trying to get to level 20 without dying. Let me get some of the stuff out of my inventory. And then what's nice about organizing my bags like this is if I accidentally sell something off and then I look, there'll be like a hole right here, and I can be like, oh man, I just sold something, so I can go back in and rebuy that thing so I don't have to recraft all that stuff. But anyway, that's a nice horse. That looks like... do I have it on here? Maybe I don't. No, I guess I don't have it on this one. I like these though. Look at this. Like the Steed of Thorns Hall and all that. That's pretty cool. I'm not a big fan of purple stuff on a horse ridden by a warrior, but it looks pretty cool. I like the treasure chest and all the stuff there. Right? Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna go for the Steed of Bree. Oh, I've got the Steed of the White City. Nice. Where is the Steed of Bree? Steed of Bree. I don't remember if it's Bree Land or Bree Town. Oh, Steed of Bree. There we go. I'm just gonna plop that right there. Like, look at that. That looks sharp. I like that. It's a little sword. He's got a shield. He's got a horn and a torch. I probably wouldn't have a lit torch on the back of a horse, but that's just me. It's all nice stuff. So there's Constable Wren ahead of me. So now I'm gonna go north. You gotta go past this lumber camp. There we go. And then I gotta go in the woods. So the stuff is a dark blue color. That means I'm higher level. Oh, but those spiders are orange. And other things are white. That's maybe not the best idea. I mean, you only live once, I guess, but again, I don't want to have to re-roll characters because I got myself killed. Chances are I could take on an orange, as long as I'm not swamped. But, you know, you don't really want to play those games too much if you can help it. Like, let's see. Let's take on this yellow guy here. Yeah, that's not bad. Alright, maybe I'll go in. And then watch me die to this on-level wolf. That would be embarrassing. I don't need to kill all this stuff. I'm just trying to get to the brigands. Which I know their camp is over this way. You know what I forgot to do? Zuck, you should have reminded me. I forgot. I made myself armor. So I'm gonna quick compose mail to Fandolmir. Money. I'm gonna send myself 1 gold. Log out. I'm gonna log into Fandolmir. Send myself the armor that I made. Because why do I need to run around in low-level armor when I made on-level level 7 armor? Zuck, what are you doing, man? Just kidding. I like this. I mean, I would have liked if they did a better helmet, but overall, and the pauldrons are kind of weird shaped. But overall, I like Gondorian stuff. And this is the battle-worn Gondorian armor cosmetic set. But anyway, I am here for a purpose. Stop distracting me, Zuck. I'm just kidding, you're good. There it is. There's the armor that I crafted. Yeah, I bought it once a long time ago on a character on a different server. And then, due to server closings and stuff, I eventually transferred that character onto this server, and all that stuff transferred with him. So I ended up having this armor on this server, which is nice. Should I spell it the British way? Alright, so now I'm going to do some quick math. I'm going to type it in here. So minus I can't do this math, Zuck. I don't even know how to begin. Oh, I got it. Okay, it's 1,000 minus 3.87 should give me 996.13. So if I go 996 and 13, That should leave me at 0. Bam. 0. Nice. Alright. Now back to Fandramir with his nice new armor. So I'm at least somewhat better off trying to run through this woods. And Zuck, if you ever want to, like, if you ever get yourself on this legendary server, you create a character and you want to run around and hang out in game, by all means, man. We can do some fellowship quests together, whatever. I'm open for it. But here we go. Let's attach this stuff, delete that. Alright, now let's put this stuff on. So we got that. Yeah, that's the problem. I don't know if you were here, but when I was a lot younger, my mom, as a birthday present or whatever, got me a lifetime subscription back when they were available. So I kind of lucked out. I don't have this. I don't have a subscription that I pay. I hate this helmet. It's such a stupid looking helmet. But yeah, I don't have a subscription that I pay because I was grandfathered in when it wasn't Turbine did the original stuff, and then it went free to play. I don't think it wasn't Standing Stone Games yet, though. I forget who ran the game at that time, but they graciously grandfathered in all the lifetime subscribers, so we still got all of our old perks. Now this probably isn't. This might not be too bad. All right, let's see if I can tackle these guys before that captain comes back up. Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, so in order to get on this server, you have to be a VIP, which is not why I'm here. I'm here because of the progression and the fact that most everybody's going to be at a lower level than it would be on a regular, just a normal server. Alright, time to get out. I've got what I came for. Let's read the letter. The tyranny of inaction needs silence you no longer. Cast aside the things that make you. Bring 3 white shirts, 2 pairs of trousers, blue, and 200 copper burial money to Ellie Cutleaf in Combe. Ellie Cutleaf. All right. I'm gonna see if I know how to mute. I'm gonna mute this guy. And then I'm going to ban him because I don't need that kind of stuff going on in my chat. All that spam buy stuff. You want to talk about honor and not using the deed of the Valar or whatever it is, and how it feels like cheating and leveling is fun and it's the best way to go. That kind of stuff is bad too. Paying money for followers or whatever. If you can't do it on your own, then you just shouldn't do it. That's just my 2 cents. So, anyway, back to the game. So now I'm heading back to Constable Underhill with this letter that implicates Ellie Cutleaf in this whole situation with the Black Wolves. That's our core. Alright. Here we go. Constable Underhill. So he
A
says,
lovely day, isn't it?
"Hello, what's this? Ellie Cutleaf." Well, I should have guessed. She's smart and disreputable by all accounts. And she's just the sort who might lead us to the Blackwold agent. She won't lead you to this Amdir fellow, I don't think, but it's a start. We must gain access to the leader somehow. He'll have the answers we seek. So we choose one of these. Neither of these are going to be better than what I got. No.
Please, stay among
There we
us.
go, level 9. It says, now here's an idea. Ellie is looking for new blood, so why not help her out? You could mask yourself as a ruffian and offer to join the Blackwolds, gain her confidence, and we might find out where the Blackwold leaders are hiding. Of course, it would be dangerous. Do you think you're up to the task? Ellie's house is in the northwest corner of town, by the pond. There are some large cages nearby. She breeds dogs, I think. Go and speak with her, and remember, you're a brigand. Alright, so let's go talk to this Ellie Cutleaf. It's also forcing me to actually read this stuff. I've never really read it in the past. I would just click through it. But come to find out that one of the best features of this whole thing is this story that's built around it as it goes. The makers of this game did a fantastic job with that stuff. The only complaint I could have is that for a long time, everybody kind of, even though you're like the big bad hero that's, or big good hero, I guess, that's done all this stuff, they still kind of just have you fetch and get me 3 pies and, you know, go find me 4 flowers and that kind of stuff.
What can I do for you?
You know, you kind of hard to get away from that in an MMORPG. So not another one. I thought I'd gotten all of those letters back. You'd be better served just going home. You don't want to join up with the Blackwolds. I listened to Skunkwood, their leader, and I helped them breed some wolves. I admit I did it for the promise of riches, but I regret it. Jagger Jack is their head wolf master, and he had me breed a local wolf with one of them wargs. When they took me into their camp deep within the Chetwood, I got afeared right quick. There's something not right there. I've done something terrible, Fanjamir, and I need help getting out. Have a good night, Zuck. Thank you for stopping by. Again, I'll probably be on, I'm 90% sure I'll be on at the same time tomorrow. 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, which I believe in Quebec you are as well. So have a good night. It says, the den mother I helped them breed is kept at Skunkwood's farm in the North Chetwood. She needs to be filled before her next litter is born. Killed before her next litter is born. Else her pups will do worse damage to the Chetwood and the folk here. Alright, so instead of finding the camp, I've got to go now kill this den mother. Which I thought the point was finding the camp. But it is what it is. Whoop, graphics catch up. Come on. Come on. There we go. Alright. Yeah, so again, I've got to go back to the Chetwood. Yeah, right here is where the den mother is. So I got to go past there again, back through where I just was, basically. There's a fork in the road. I want to go to the right at the fork in the road, but it's right next to the Midgewater Marsh. So back to the Midgewater Marsh. Sorry about that. Quick hiccup. Excuse me. I so much want to pick up these other quests. So, what's really interesting is that this game does a great job filling in gaps in the story. What I mean by that is that the Chetwood is mentioned in the books, but it's not really talked about a whole lot. So when they include it in a game like this, it's kind of like giving more life to the story of Lord of the Rings itself. Yeah, I'm not going to run down the road because it's too dangerous with all these brigands. Oh, looks like somebody's fighting over here. Oh, see? Maybe I can jump in here. Give him a little help. Oh yeah, he was on his way out. I might as well grab this lockbox. It's tied to a different quest, the unpaid debts quest here. It kind of, like I said, it just breathes a whole lot of new life into the story when it fills in all of these, you know, for lack of a better way of putting it, loose ends, right? So now we got these skunkwood wolfhounds. These are wolfhounds that Ellie had bred. So they're kind of abominations, a mix between wolves and wargs. Yeah. How much longer? That's going to be on me for over 2 minutes? Oh, I guess not. That was weird. Alright, so let's start with that bigger one. So there's a gun. Alright, shoot down. And good. So now I'm wounded. Huh. Now I could try to kill this thing for the deed. But that's not what I'm here to do. Alright, let's get on a horse. Why am I running around? get on a horse and ride back to Eli Khalif. Oh, see, there's a wandering brigand. She's one of the reasons why I went around in the first place. I forgot to do that on the way back. All right. So this is all the prologue. If I open this, you got Epic Volume 1 Prologue. So each volume, so the story, the Epic quest line, if you're not aware, is broken up into several volumes. Right? And each volume has different books in it. And each book has different chapters in it. So this is like the prologue of the whole volume of Volume 1. It's kind of like if you were to read Lord of the Rings, you're actually reading 6 books, right? So each of the 3 books is actually 2 books smashed together into one book. Or at least the 2 Towers and the Return of the King is. I'm pretty sure Fellowship is also the same way. So if you think of them as volumes, and then you have the 2 books inside the volume, and then obviously the chapters that make up the books. Right, so I like how they even kept it in a story method in this game.
What can I do for you?
It says, I'm glad that you were able to defeat the dead mother before she bore any more of those half-wargs. Now there's just Skunkwood to deal with. He spends most of his time in the Blackwalled hideout these days. There are dark-skinned men who sometimes attend him, clearly not from these parts, and that Jagger-Jack fellow. So I got all this stuff. This sword is better than the ones I have. So,
Could I speak with you a moment?
there we go. Is that level 10? This, by the way, is a plugin. It's a deed tracker, I believe, plugin. So it shows me. Here, let me clear that. So if I click on this, it shows me all the different deeds I can do in each of the lands, each of the areas. And it's pretty well kept up to date from what I've been able to tell so far. And then it's all broken up. So if I go into my deed log, right, you'll see it's broken up the same way. So if I click class race epic, right, you have all these different things down here at the bottom, right, which corresponds to these. Allegiances comes in later in the game, right? So, like if I want to work on my reputation, I can see what kind of deeds I can do to work on that reputation. It's just a nice plug-in. Plugins are things that are not natural to the game. It's just a nice thing to have. So, it says, when Skunkwood took me to the Black Wolves encampment in the Chetwood, I met Jagger-Jack. Jack is training the wolves for the Black Wolves. He keeps most of them deep in the ruins to the north parts of the woods. If we're going to put a stop to the Black Wolves, then we may need to do a little mischief of our own. I'm not one to do this, mind you, but we need to stop them wolves before they're used against Cone. Leader Cartwell can help us and will. talk to him at his house up on the cliff south of Combe Center. Tell him that I need a poison to kill the wolves. Interesting little side bit. He's called Leecher Cartwell. Leecher is not his first name. That's a title. Right? So his name is actually Cartwell. He's just the Leecher Cartwell. So Leecher is a old way of saying like a healer kind of type. Like medicinal kind of healer. Witch doctor. Not really witch doctor, because there's a connotation of magic there. But yeah, so for a long time I thought Leecher Cartwell. Leecher was his first name. Cartwell was his last name. But nope, that's just a title. And now you know. And knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe. Alright. So we gotta go talk to this Cartwell fella. Oh, come on, graphics. It's so slow. I really need to upgrade my computer. Look at this. Look how long that took to fully load in. So I can kind of sneak around a little bit. Get to his house from the back here. Alright. See, and he's a healer.
Hello there.
Ellie got herself in trouble, did she? I've been near the wood of late to gather herbs and such. Something has the animals there stirred up for certain. If this will help make things right between Ellie and the Combe folk, I will help. I think I know just the thing. I need fresh honey, blackwort root, and several red berries. There are beehives behind the abandoned house south of Combe. The berries grow in patches in a valley just over the hill behind the house, and blackwort root is found near the wolf den in the North Chetwood. Alright. So, let's go do that. So, the honey and the berries are not here. That's something else. They're over here. Right? And then this is where we will find that blackwort root. Alright, so let's do the honey first. Keep forgetting to ride my horse. Makes things go a little faster. Alright. So behind the abandoned house, and here's your beehives. Alright. Now we need the berries, which is down this little pathway here. In this area infested by bears. There's a lot of them too. Welcome, viewers. If you're a player already of Lord of the Rings Online, go ahead, drop a line, you know. Let me know what your main is, you know, what class they are, race, because that actually can play a difference. You know, and if you feel comfortable with it, you know, what server you're working on. Whoop. The bear is not liking me. Yeah, get away. I am currently playing on the server, I think it's Peregrine is what it's called. Give me a second. Yeah, Peregrine, which is one of the legendary servers, I guess if they're still called that, the VIP servers, whatever you, and it's technically the roleplay server, though I never see any roleplay happening. Kind of like Landing Ball, where it's technically a roleplay server, but nobody really roleplays. It's not like Laurelin. Laurelin was the big roleplay server. So, alright, so that was the last of the berries I needed. Now it's time to head out and gather up some blackwort root by the wolf den. Which that was a constant complaint by a lot of people, is the amount of just back and forth and back and forth and back and forth that you get in this game. But as I understand it, it's pretty similar to most games have that kind of a back and forth problem. Most MMORPGs, from my understanding. Though I haven't really spent a lot of time in a lot of them. I was a founding player of Elder Scrolls Online. I played a little World of Warcraft, but a little EVE Online. I like EVE Online, but that's not at all the same. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of back and forth. It just takes time, you know? You're trying to get through things and move on to the next thing, the next part of the story, and here you're going zipping back and forth across this town multiple times. I'm gonna have to kill one. Alright. Alright, got all my blackwort root. Now it's time to head back to Leecher Cartwell. Give him these ingredients so he can make a poison. So we can kill some of these wolf-warg hybrids that Ellie Cutleaf and, what is his name, Jagger Jack have bred. If any of you guys have a favorite expansion that you liked from Lord of the Rings Online, for example, when they came out with Eastern Rohan, or you know, that kind of stuff, Anuminos, or Evendim. And if I'm butchering the way that these things are supposed to be pronounced, I apologize. Personally, I like Evendim. I don't like all the swimming you end up having to do. But I do like the look of it. I know there's a group of people that really like the snowy places, like Misty Mountains or Forakel. It says, there you are. It will be just a moment, and I'll have the potion for you. The poison for you. Be careful with this. It'll not hurt you or I, nor even the little folk, except perhaps to make us mildly ill, but the normal woodland creatures would suffer terribly if you don't use caution. You should return to Ellie and let her know that the poison is ready. Alright, so now we're going back to Ellie Cutleaf, who we are helping to erase her bad name in town for having helped the Black Wolves breed these wolf-warg hybrids. If anybody in chat feels so inclined, maybe You know, putting in the chat what other games you like. You know, I'm always looking for a new fun game to play. You know, pop it in there and I'll see if I am interested.
What do you need?
So you have the poison from Cartwell. I trust Cartwell. Now that we have the poison, we may be ready to strike at the Black Wolves in their Chetwood home. So now I'm going
Stay a
deeper into
moment.
the Chetwood. If I'm to help you, then you've got to trust me. We need to deal with the wolves and their keeper, Jagger Jack. Jack spends his time talking to those strange, dark-skinned men with the ruins occupied by the Black Wolves. Within the ruins occupied by the Black Wolves. Find him and kill him, else he'll keep breeding his wolves with the warg. While you search for Jack at the camp, look for corpses of dead beasts, sheep, cattle, even deer. It's likely the poor creatures are the food for the wolves. Use the poison on the corpses and we may well kill off a good number of Jack's beasts. While you deal with Jack and the wolves, I'll talk to Skunkwood and others about a new recruit I found. I might be able to get you into Skunkwood's hideout. Oh, nice. Alright, so back into the Chetwood. That's what I'm talking about. Back and forth and back and forth. You know, but sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. Alright. It says I got 3 viewers watching right now. If any of you guys remember when this game was run by Turbine and not Standing Stone Games? Do you think they're better off now or how they were then? I could probably just cut right across here. Maybe I can bypass a lot of this dangerous stuff. Did I ever replace the sword? I don't think I did. I got it, but I never replaced it. 570, yep, see? I almost made a bad mistake. There we go. Alright, let's jump up. There we go. Oh, I didn't cross over enough. You know, it's nice listening to the music again. When, for the longest time, I would just put the music on mute. Like, turn the music off as I played. But now I kind of like the music in the background. It's more nostalgic, I think, that way. Okay, here's the ruins I need to go to. So, let's start fighting our way in, I guess, right? Because we're gonna have to fight through all these black wolves. Let's go with this one first. Alright. Alright. Going in. right through it. Oh. Looks like a lot of stuff was already cleared out in here. Somebody's already running around. Which makes things a little bit easier for us, but we might have to sit around and wait for Jagger Jack to be respawned, depending on what they came in here for. But there's not really a whole lot to come over here for if it's not to kill Jagger Jack. Welcome, welcome. Alright. Oh, you know what? I forgot. I've got news. I've got 3 available points. I need to allocate those at some point. How's my virtues doing? It's okay, I guess. I do have a virtue accelerator. I should probably use that. Let me see. Let me see. I thought I had one. Well, I guess not. Yeah, I guess not. I thought I did. Anyway, on to Jagger Jack. Looks see they're popping back in now. So, I might be just in time. Yeah, see, he's right next to these Angmar fellows. I don't like that. I don't want to pull everything. Let me just see what happens. Okay, good. Come on. There you go. Alright. Now that that's done, let me get back out of here. Hope I don't come across the warg that's wandering around out here. Based off of the storyline, I was always wondering why there was a warg walking around out here. But based off of the storyline, that might be the warg that they're breeding with wolves. It's got to be around here somewhere, but it's a lot stronger than I am. I don't think I want to mess with it right now. Fight my way out. Oh, there we go. Level 11. It's running slow right now. Here we go. This is a dangerous time for the computer to be hiccuping. Nice. Yeah, you know, you guys don't have to lurk. You can talk, you can chat. I can see what you're saying. Oh, look at that. Brigand Slayer. Which Brigand Slayer? The Bree one. Okay. Clear. Nice. Let's get the horse out. Let's ride back to Ellie Cutleaf. Oh, I kind of put us. I brought us all the way back into Archit. Huh. You used to not be able to do that. There was like a mountain or a wall or something in the way. Not a mountain, but you get what I'm saying. Some sort of terrain that blocked your ability to just randomly move from area to area without going through specific choke points. Because they wanted you to pick up the quests in a certain order. But at some point, and don't ask me exactly when, I don't remember, but at some point, they opened it up more. So now you could, through multiple different points in different places, go between different zones or areas or whatever you want to call them, regions, however you want to describe them. But that didn't used to be the case. The only way you can get into Archit back in the day was through that gate right there. That gate. That was the only way you can get in and out of Archit, unless you fast traveled. I mean, you used a milestone, which reminds me, I have not set my milestone in a while. Langlaith. I do appreciate it when people try to come up with a name that's more lore appropriate. Sometimes you see other names where you're like, man, they're just trying to be funny, or they're, you know, or they're being immature or whatever it is. I understand it's a game, right? You don't need to get mad over that stuff.
What can I do for you?
I still appreciate it when they put some thought into it. If you've been to those ruins, then you know about the evil spreading throughout the Blackwold. Through the Blackwolds. I was able to meet with Skunkwood, though he was talking to one of them strange men. He mentioned someone named Amdir. Skunkwood said that he would meet with you, but you'll need to be quick. Once Jagger's death is discovered, Skunkwood will become suspicious. Alright, are these better than what I got? Yeah, they are. Alright, so I'm going to take them.
Could I speak with you a moment?
Put them on before I forget. Oh, that's going to go somewhere else. Alright, it says, you've done all that was asked of you. And done a good job of it too. So I suppose it's time to show you where to find Skunkwood. He's second under Eogan, one of the strange men that I mentioned. Skunkwood handed the Blackwolds over to them a short time ago. That's when bad changes started taking place around here. Skunkwood's used me and a lot of other good folk here in Combe. Everything you've seen so far in the Chutwood should prove that to you. We've risked a lot to have a chance to stop the Blackwolds once and for all, Vandermeer. It is time we finish this. The hideout is located at the foot of the Staddle Falls at the northwest end of Staddle Pond. You will be welcomed inside. Maybe you'd best go talk to that fellow what you're working for first, though. Alright. So we're going to head back. And we're going to talk to... what is his name? Torgadden? Something like that. Come on. There we go. There we go. Oh, it's right there. Toradan. I don't know why I didn't look there. Toradan. Alright, here he is.
How can I be of service?
Says you've returned with news of the Blackwold leaders. You have done well. Now is the time to move against Skunkwood and Eogan. You should make your way to his hideout of theirs and speak to Skunkwood. Once there, tell him you heard rumors about the prisoner they took from Arkshit and would like to see if the tales about him are true. Once you make your way to Amdir, free him and make your escape. I will follow you to the hideout and aid you. Hurry now. Alright. So now we're going to go into the Blackwold hideout. Which there's a part in this instance quest that is infuriating. And I'll let you know what that is when we get to it. I don't want to spoil it for anybody. Now, come on, horse. Get right. Thank you. Alright, so if I recall, the hideout is over this way. Gotta kind of pass this construction site that's been under construction for the last 18 years without any advancement. It's like government work right there, boys. Government contracting. Oh, what am I attracting? Boar. Now I'm sick. What is it? A minor disease. Oh, it's only a minor disease. And there it is. There it is, right there. Nice. Alright. Every time I swim in this game, though, now I think of Evandim. Every time.
The hunt for Amdir leads to the hideout of the brigand Skunkwood, but to what end is unknown.
Nice. Alright.
How can I be
The
of service?
Blackwold guard stares up at you from beneath a furrowed brow. He spits onto the ground and studies your face for a few seconds before giving you a wry and sinister smile. He said, "You must be the new blood Ellie was talking about. You'll find Skunkwood in the back." Yeah. Yeah, he's... I mean, if you watched The Lord of the Rings or read the books, he was stabbed by a Morgul blade, so he's becoming a wraith. Slowly but surely. Alright. And here he is. William Skunkwood. I hate it when the names cover things like that.
This is intolerable!
So you're the one I've heard so much about from Ellie. We lost a lot of good men in Archit, and I'll be glad to have you in the fold. You say you've heard about the Ranger? I have to tell you, what is happening to that fellow is plain unnatural. Eogan tells me that he'll be a great boon to us, but for now, he's just a raving madman. I don't mind letting you go take a peek in on him. He's down in the dungeon at the far end of the cavern. My guard there will let you pass. Alright. Let's go find Amdir. Skunkwood says it's all right. I'll let you pass. I'd be careful though. That Amdir's a dangerous one. Make it stop. Make it stop. Back, foul creature. Who? Who are you? Who? The voice. Make it stop.
The voice, it will not stop.
The wound, it is so cold. The voice speaks to me, commands me, tells me things, tells me about the end of all things, the beginning of new things. It calls me to service. I must do what it says, must follow. I must serve the Dark Lord. No. No, no. Escape I must. Come here quickly. This is the beginning of the part that infuriates me. Help me, please.
Your coming is a boon, young one.
Oh, thank you for coming to save me, young one. I have been held captive here for a long time. I've seen many things, and if you would be so kind as to help me out of this dungeon, I would be able to tell you a bit of what happened to your friend Amdir. Let us get going. And then she will move that slow for almost the entire rest of the quest. Yep. Yep. So now he just follows her, and it's annoying, and it's boring. Yep. Alright, but now it's about to spice up. Because all these people are going to wake back up. Here we go. And then she walks slowly again. I think though after this instance, I'm going to call it a night, because it'll probably be pretty close to 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and I'll stream for 3 hours tonight. That seems like a good stopping point. I've got work in the morning, because believe it or not, this is not the only thing I do. Come on. So she has to go back here to find her staff, and then she has to cross back over here to that entry cavern that we came in through. But only about halfway through that cavern does she start to run. Up until then, she just moves this slowly the whole time. Because the staff is in one of these chests here. I don't remember what. I think it's this one. So I gotta wait till she gets there. Yep, she goes there, she picks it up, and these guys wake up. Then I kill them, and then she slowly walks out. She calls it a stick. My stick, I would be lost without it, but then look at this thing when it pops up. Like, look at that. That doesn't just look like a stick, you know? It's like, if you didn't know any better, like, look at that thing. Like, you look at that and you're like, there's something else to that. You know, that's not just a stick. Doesn't even look like anything about it is made of wood, except for maybe the shaft. But you can't really see it because it's wrapped in rather leather strips or something. And then Skunkwood comes out to face me. Him and his 2 wolves. And she's still walking slow. Kill them. There we go. Wow. What's really nice is I have one of these Razor, I forget what it is exactly, what kind, Naga Trinity, a Razer Naga Trinity mouse. So it's got like 12 buttons on the thumb that I can just tether to certain keystrokes. So the way I have it set up is that like 1, 2, and 3 activate these different levels. So with my right hand, it's like I'm pressing one of the shift buttons and then 1 with my left hand. I have 1 tethered to walking versus running. I have 1 tethered to, it should be auto run. I don't know why that's not working. Oh, there it is. Right, it's just auto run. The keystrokes that's required to get a horse, I have set as another button, so I don't have to push all the keystrokes. I just push that 1 button, and it makes it all faster, easier, smoother than trying to push several different keys all at once. Oh, there she goes. See, now she's running. Running just quickly enough to stop here at the end. It says, Amdir, by the Valar, it's too late. All of you, stay back. Stay back. I'll kill him. I must end this. End this? Kill me? Is this the compassion of the Dunedain? The voice told me the truth. I shall end you, Tordan, my brother, and every other ranger as well. Okay. And there's that.
It is too late for
Tordan
me.
coughs up blood. Amdir is beyond saving now. You must warn my kindred. Mundal is in the mustering cave of the rangers. Help him. Go to Underhill. Ask him if Tangle Rush delivered my message. Godspeed. Alright, or Valor speed, I guess? I don't know. Anyway, moving on. Oh, dang it. Dang it, dang it, dang it. I didn't talk to her. Please tell me it's still going. Okay. It says, goodness
dear,
me,
how
what a terrible
terrible.
sight for these old eyes. The blade that stung Amdir has done its work, and I fear he's nothing more than a servant of the enemy now. You should try and stop him if you can. And don't worry about me. Now that I'm free of that awful cell, I'll be fine. And I've got my stick. I've got my stick back. Don't know what I'd have done without it. You have done me a great service this day. Oh, the storyline with her is something else. Alright, so where am I supposed to go? Constable Underhill. Alright, I'm going to boom. And then once I talk to Constable Underhill, I am going to say goodnight. I did want to get all the way through the prologue. Unfortunately, I mismanaged my time in the very beginning and didn't just jump right into it. If I jumped right into it, I'd probably have managed to get all the way through it. So, tomorrow at 8 o'clock, I plan to be back on. And then I'll finish the prologue and then maybe start Chapter 1. Chapter 1, Book 1, Volume 1.
Hello there.
Toradan, slain by Amdir. How is that possible? Seek out Constable Tanglerush immediately. If Toradan's warning does not reach his kin, who is to know what devilry will ensue? Quickly now. Well,
Might I speak with you a moment?
here we go, level 12, 8 levels to go to level 20. I am not going to pick this up just yet. I am going to, like I said, call it quits. So, oh, that's shadowing is bad. Can I get better? There we go. Alright, well, I see I still have 2 viewers on. I appreciate your sticking around. Again, I'll be back on tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Which is the plan anyway. Yeah, and like I said, we'll finish the prologue and maybe delve into Chapter 1. Alright, so in the meantime, stay safe. World's getting kind of crazy. And have a good night.